Okay, one last question. All right. Karate, Kung Fu, Muay Thai, Jiu Jitsu, Capoeira. Can you rank those as far as like martial arts systems back then and now? I mean, did you have a favorite, or did you train in one style or two styles? And what would you suggest
What
to the
years you
youth?
talking about now?
The youth that's trying to get into martial arts, which style is
Conducive for that particular person? Well, it's up to them to choose what style they want to be in.
Okay, and what's the differences between karate, kung fu, jiu-jitsu in your opinion?
You can look at it and see the difference. One is flipping, running, wrestling, doing rolls and all that other kind of stuff. Karate is hand-to-hand, more hand-to-hand combat. Judo and jiu-jitsu that had, flipping and turning and wrestling, all that together. It's what a person liked to do. I didn't like judo and jiu-jitsu because you had to flip. So I had a bad experience with the one of the first guys that was showing me karate at the mosque. Because I used to laugh at people a lot, I was a comedian in a way. And the instructor saw me laughing at what he was showing the student, because the student couldn't get it right, and asked me to come up. And he flipped me without even showing me how to break the fall. So when he flipped me, and I just protected myself falling down, I said, I don't want to do this no more. So I knew judo wasn't my thing. He just wanted to make me out of example. And all the guys was laughing. You know what I told all of them in the temple? I said, y'all, I'm going to remember all your faces, because when we get on that karate floor, I'm going to bust all of you. And that's what pushed me, that incident. And I was only like 17 years old. Okay. So karate was my love. And all of us learned how to wrestle a little bit, fighting together. You had to learn how to wrestle. We didn't have names for certain things. We knew what a choke out was. That was the main thing, to choke a guy out. And that would be my main thing, to learn the choke outs and all that, I can't see how I'm going to just let you grab me and throw me down. You can snatch out of that. You let a guy control your hands. No, you don't allow that. You can't even control one of those girls' hands when they mad at you. And now I'm going to let a guy come like this here and just control my arms? No way, I'm going to hit you before No. Now think about this. He going nuts.
Right, because if you're manipulating somebody's arm with the
all those moves,
wrist locks,
all those moves,
that means that
you waiting to get hands, right? You waiting to get dumped.
You're open.
Yeah, you're not even thinking. So a lot of these guys who do that in practice actually get accustomed to somebody grabbing them first, and they be in trouble. A lot of you just grab on. I got you. You don't let them grab. How about this one? Let me give you a good one, and I know they're gonna talk about this one. How about when you go on the ground, an MMA fighter, go on the ground on your back with all the judo, jiu-jitsu, and wrestling information you have, and you stand on the ground getting tapped out on the ground without even hardly fighting back. I saw one or two guys that would come up and try to grab them or get their arm and do something or try to flip them over. I guarantee you can weigh 200 pounds, 300 pounds, and I'll flip your butt over. You get on me, I'm going to get up some kind of way. Or you're going to get hit while I'm on the ground. I'm not just going to let you ground and pound.
So what about the Gracies? They were pretty successful in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in the UFC era.
Take nothing from them. I'm not saying individuals. I'm saying in general, the way they teach it, and don't teach you to get up with all this knowledge you have fighting on the floor. And you're going to wrap your legs around. I'm going to wrap my leg around you and let you stay there. And you just slugging me, and you finding how to grab my arm, to twist it, to do a move. Got to teach a guy that. Got to teach him to get up. That's easy.
So karate was basically on the offensive.
Karate.
Attacking.
Karate is attacking. It ain't just it's called a self-defense. Boxing is a self-defense, but it's also aggressive when you have to use it. Right?
Right.
So they call all of them defense. Jiu-jitsu is defense. They offense too. And you better learn that offense.
Wow.
Offense is execution.
And speaking of offensive execution, I see you got the KA system of karate there. Yeah.
All right.
What's that book about?
This book is on the freestyle crouch only. One of the styles that I created. Now, when you create a system of karate, you should write a book about it. A lot of guys saying they have a system, they created something, but you don't see it. Nor did they prove that it worked. You have to have at least 1 or 2 techniques that's different from anything that anybody have seen in karate, and that's what the KA system did. You know, I proved that it worked. We have 3 different reverse punches. We got the slight tilt, half tilt, and full tilt reverse punches. And if you see me executing those punches, you say, well, I've never seen that in karate before. No other system have it. All of them taught the same reverse punch. It's not bad now, but I'm saying innovation is going forward with something, right? So say everybody's, okay, when you go to see karate movies or Japanese samurai, don't one style be a vice versa in another style? And sometimes a guy that you're versing, a master comes in and say, you have to learn a certain technique. So they take you to the mountains to teach you that technique, because that technique will work against that particular guy because they seen that guy fight.
That's his Achilles heel.
Right. So karate was the same thing. But what happened when the KA system came, it was so different. It wasn't acceptable. Being a black man, accept the way they fight good, but we can't accept that. So everybody was against me in the 60s when this came in 1967, 68, 69. I didn't have nobody had my back. The only one had my back was God. God had my back. And that's why I survived and produced champions. Because if you have a system, you have to produce champions. It can't be for you. It's for the world to see. I couldn't go to California. I didn't have the money to bring my kids to California, so we fought in the East Coast. Henry Cho knew me. A lot of the some Koreans knew me. They knew my name because we defeated a lot of their fighters, but they didn't give my fighters the titles.
Why? Why didn't they give the fighters
Nina
the
Simone,
titles?
because she said our skin is black. It wasn't a time in history that you would be recognized, black folks. You got to wait another 15 to 20 years. And it's been that long.
So was Victor Moore and those guys in your era or before you, or Rico Guy?
That late came later on. I didn't even know Victor Moore back then. You know, when the Kung Fu thing came out with him and Bruce Lee came, you know, with that thing, and they cheated about that. That was a big lie. That was a big lie. Listen, if anybody get that close to you, could beat you to the punch. Let's get in fighting distance, see can you beat me to the punch. So let it make sense. This close to one another. Right? And you're gonna go first. You may beat me to the punch. The closeness. The degree. Nah, let's get a little further back where we in fighting distance.
See.
Huh? So you want to come over here?
Yeah.
Okay. We're this close. You may beat me to the punch every time. All right. Was they about this close to one another?
Right.
So you may beat me to the punch every time. Right. You may beat me to. Yeah, I can't even catch it. See, I mean, I caught it there, but I'm just, okay. But you may beat me to it. Right. Now, move back a little bit. And maybe y'all now try to do it. Come a mile back. I ain't even got to block that.
Wow.
And you coming close. Okay?
Wow.
There's a difference. A little kid may beat you to the punch that close. That doesn't show your speed.
Right.
All of us have speed.
Right.
Just get in that fighting range and see can you do that.
Okay.
So all that stuff is make-believe. Put on Hollywood, and Victor won at that, but they didn't give it to him. They didn't get no credit for it. But they give all this credit to him because he's Oriental. They always give the foreign people credit before they give our own people credit. And who ran the magazines? Who run the magazines? All right? They didn't want Victor to be big. They didn't want Victor to be big, and I'm hoping his documentary come out to show that he's capable and he could have beat these guys. Bruce Lee wouldn't fight him back then. He didn't fight nobody. He was a Hollywood star, a movie star. And they keep praising him. And you know what gets me about this whole thing about Bruce Lee? I don't talk about, and then some of the philosophy that he had. He ridiculous. Remember one time he said there's no style, there's no system. So why he got a system out there? There's a style and there's a system.
Right.
Everybody have a style. Even if you're not a karate guy, you got a style of walking. And it's good for you. I remember a guy that used to come to the project, walk through the project, right? And he used to hug the wall. He used to walk and hug the brick wall as he walked. That's a style. Style is a system. In martial art, the system, he discredited everybody when he said that. And then you hear people say, oh yeah, that's mastery of what he said. That's a dummy that what he said. That don't even make sense. styles. You have boxing styles that sometime a fighter have to change his style a little bit
Right.
to defeat another guy. So that's ridiculous. You make movies, you get big, anything you say, they glorify it and then you accept it. But it's not common sense. It's not common sense to me. Before I used to fight some guys and I saw them fight right, I said, you only stand 3 chances.
What's those?
Small chance, slow chance, and no chance at all.
Wow.
They didn't have my giddy up. They didn't know how when I said I ran 6 days a week when I was getting ready for fights, that's what I meant. I used to run with brick in my hand, Weekway Park, 3 miles. I didn't hold the brick for all 3 miles. Sometimes I have to drop it down, right? I didn't lift no weights. I didn't need no weights. I just need kicking and punching and execution and good sparring. That's the key. And my instructor wasn't there. My instructor never said, you should have threw this kick or do this kick or that kick. Because back then in 74, I didn't know one from another. Matter of fact, he never taught me a straight back kick. He taught Prentice a straight back kick because that's what he caught me with. But no other fighter in history ever touched me with a straight back kick. You can't catch me with a straight back kick now. And most guys can't even throw a straight back kick as quick as I can throw it right now. I could look at him and say, let me see just straight back kick. And I could see, I said, now I'm going to show you how it's supposed to be done. And show him right on the button how to do it. And to make the guy a much better fighter.
All right. Speaking of fighters, you mentioned Jeff Smith, Joe Louis, Chuck Norris. There was another guy by the name of Mike Stone.
I fought him in 1965 at Junior Marine Tournament in Washington, D.C., right? And I knew I had just beat a Chinese guy. And then I had changed the way I was fighting at the karate school. I got to get this picture and show it to you. I fought him and I opened up my arms like this here when I was fighting him. And the reason I did that, I wanted to suck him into thinking he could score on me because I had a counter for it. So even in the 64, before I even created the system, I had an imagination to trick a person into certain things. Just like Hank tricked you into doing certain things over and over and he'd catch you, bam, right? So I did the same thing in karate. Now, when Mike Stone came up, now remember, we fighting in eliminations. I had beat 2 guys, but I got a picture of me, fighting the Chinese guy that I outpointed him. Mike Stone was my next fight. So when we greeted in and we got into the stance, I noticed that he just stood there with his hands down. And you know what I said to myself? I finally got somebody that could fight. And whatever he did, he couldn't catch me.
Mike Stone was in karate too?
Yeah, well, he was a karate man.
All right.
I think he could have been a prior champ back then in 65. He said he never fought me, but he did fight me in Washington, D.C., and I have the pictures to show it. Matter of fact, I sent it to Tiari Cassell about a week ago, so he could see me in my stance. And I asked that I was trying to do a fake sweep,
right?
And he didn't go for it. And I said, man, I got to fight today, and I knew it.
So being that, you're naming karate guys, jiu-jitsu guys, kung fu guys. So this is the early mixed martial arts era, in fact, before the UFC.
Yes.
Because you guys had different styles facing different styles.
Yes. Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
One of the styles is famously on the magazines, Madison Square Garden, Soki John Davis, karate versus Tyree Cassell, jiu-jitsu. Now, kung fu. My understanding is that John Davis was jiu-jitsu, not karate.
Right.
So why did they market it as karate and kung fu?
Promotion, I don't know why the promoter did that. It was ridiculous. Should have had the right titles for it, but they didn't do it. But I think Little John knew more of a Shotokan fighting back then.
Oh, Shotokan karate.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So that's understandable.
Right.
Before jiu-jitsu.
Right, because he didn't do no jiu-jitsu when he fought.
Right, because jiu-jitsu was all about locks and
throwing
takedowns.
Down. You didn't see none of that back then.
Okay, wow. Well, that was a great fight. It's on ABC Wild World of Sports.
Yes.
Including yours and Jeff Smith.